Fuck happiness. Stay angry. So, I don't know what it is with motherfuckers thinking that you should be happy. Whoever said that you should be fucking happy? Choo, 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 choo. Choo, 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 choo.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson.
And if you want something to happen to you and it's...
Choo, 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 choo.
You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on.
Choo, 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 choo. Choo, 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 choo.
Yo, you about done?
Choo, choo, choo.
Out in the streets, they call it murder.
Choo, choo, choo. Fuck happiness. Stay angry. Choo, choo, choo. Choo, choo, choo.
In the air.
Choo, 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 choo. Choo, 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 choo.
Let me start off with 2 words.
Choo, choo, choo. Choo, 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 choo.
I want to crack an egg in your asshole and dick you down until it's scrambled.
Choo, 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 choo.
Children and I suffered the pressure.
Choo, 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 choo.
So here's my official answer for the record. Kiss my ass. I do not apologize. In fact, by all rights, you sick freaks should be the ones apologizing to me.
Choo, 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 choo.
I don't even know what to say after that.
Charlie Kirk.
Apparently, what? What'd you say?
Rip Charlie Kirk.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's his birthday today or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was his birthday. I guess it still is. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. How the fuck are you fucking fucks doing? Fuck, shit ass, cunt, bitch, tits, other bad words. What was the Carlin stand up? The 15 or the 19 words you can't say on TV? I can't remember what they all were. Bitch, titty, cocksucker, motherfucker.
Cunt, I think, was in there too.
Honda must be... Dude, just because I did an intro, you know what it was I got home late from the gym, and then I still had to make dinner, and then I still had to eat dinner, and now it's time to do the chat, so I'm late. So I was kind of doing an extra long intro, so maybe people could find the chat and get in here before we actually start talking about stuff. Shit, pussy, cocksucker, motherfucker. And tits is the unrevised lit. Okay, that's good to know. Intro is way too long. Well, you know, that's because of reasons that I just explained. I don't know what to tell you about that. Yes. Well, anyway, how are you guys doing today, Mr. Ohio Patriot? How's things?
My piece of shit governor for the next 90 days tried to do an executive order now against hemp products in the state that are intoxicating, so we can no longer buy Delta 8 or Delta 9 right now.
Do you guys have full fucking everything there, or did you, I guess?
They passed a statute last year, I think it was last year, because they couldn't get enough votes on the ballot for it to be an actual amended thing to our constitution would be. So they basically put that up as a statute, not realizing the General Assembly, which is mostly idiotic Republicans tied to Big Pharma, could simply turn it around and fuck around how they wanted to do it then and enact that, and it's still being dealt with, being active right now. I know there's some weed shops in the state, but I know they've become way more restrictive now is what it is.
Well, I know that certain states that allow hemp products, but they don't allow marijuana, right? There's a method that they can do now where they have basically, it's like pot without the THC that they then spray with some kind of chemical THC that like is legal for some reason. and then they can sell that like it's just regular weed, and you like smoke it, and supposedly it has you have like a way higher chance of having seizures and all of this other bad shit when you're smoking that versus regular weed or whatever, So I don't know. Maybe that's what they were going after. I'm not sure.
Well, supposedly he made some bullshit claims that was like, "Oh, it's for the children, and these kids are be able to buy this stuff too easily." It's like it's supposed to be 18 and over, bro. If you got a problem with that, then start finding these people as like a first offense. Don't shut them all down for no reason.
It does make it so like, and I'm I'm kind of a hypocrite when it comes to this because I smoked fairly young,
Mm-hmm.
But that was back when it was fully illegal. So kids are going to do what they're going to do. But it does kind of facilitate it for kids more than it used to,
It does, but at the same time, like I said, if they actually like undercover people going in there or whatever, they could easily bust a lot of these shops, and then nothing else, like second offense is like 90 days in jail or something like that for the owner of the place. And I guarantee that would dissuade his stuff a lot more than him just outright trying to ban it now is what it is. And the real problem now is he is banning it at such a time where it would then be after this 90-day period that the General Assembly itself could decide if it would be a permanent ban. And that's about 3 weeks before we actually have to file for the deadline for 26 midterms it'll be. So you basically have like 3 week time span between the time that it would be potentially on the table to be completely illegal and the time that people could actually be priming the fuck out. 3 people actually getting on the ballot against them is what it would be then. And I think this is by design, honestly.
Well, hopefully Trump just makes the whole thing fucking moot by reclassifying it as not Schedule 1 or whatever,
Yeah, I know there was talk of DEA or whoever's behind that to reschedule the stuff the other day, actually. I forget what they were doing exactly what was the time.
Well, it's long overdue because, Schedule 1 means there's no medical use. It's like, is there really no medical use? That's weird because there's all kinds of medical marijuana shops all across the country that sell marijuana specifically for medical uses. So
the thing is, I looked at this too, the way it went down, it very much felt like a gun ban or like a mag ban or something like that, because all it was going to do was just drive people to go to these places for the past week or so. And that's what I actually had my cousin do for me.
Yeah, you just stock up and hopefully the whole thing blows over. If not, you drive up to wherever it's legal across the border,
Oh, I'm sure I could probably still find places that would just sell it. They just wouldn't have it out and displayed and stuff like that. You'd probably just ask them for it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Because if it's a law or a change of statute or whatever, and it's a brick and mortar store, they're not going to take a chance to sell a little bit of weed to you for a fucking couple of bucks to lose their license. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some dude on the street, like some guy with a fucking hoodie that who's got a fucking van on the corner. Like, yeah, that's where we used to get it too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
well, the thing about the whole deal is that the people that were running a lot of these shops were running them as vape shops, and the vape shops were specifically for like just these products is what it is. They just got put out of business completely right now for the next 90 days. And that's when my cousin was buying me the stuff the other day. He was talking to the guy behind the counter, and that dude even said, he's like, yeah, a bunch of us business owners right now are already getting on an injunction lawsuit against the state because it's fucking ridiculous. It's completely unconstitutional. It's nothing more than what DeWine did in 2020 when he shut down small businesses in the state and then picked the winners as giant corporations like Walmart, Target, etc., because they gave more tax revenue to the state than these mom and pop shops did.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. That was a lot of words there.
Yeah, I'm actually really high right now. So.
Sorry, Leo's here. What's up, Leo?
Yeah.
All right.
Good
talk. Good to see you, bud. Awesome. Mr. Lawfully Armed, how are you doing?
Oh, hold up. Dude, there was some double play in my headphones. But,
you witness any shootings today?
There we go.
Any ICE raids?
What are you talking about, me?
Yeah, fucking Chicago.
I haven't even been out the house. So I wouldn't even know.
You just like hide away in the house all day?
Yep.
Are you dehydrated?
I did ride my bike over the weekend, but other than that,
I rode my bike a little bit today. It was like 75 degrees today. It was fucking beautiful outside. I had like shit to do, so I didn't go for a really long ride, but I did go for about a half an hour and then a little fucking ride around town. It was fun. Anyway, lawfully
Which one
armed.
did you ride?
The KLR. It needs new tires like a motherfucker. But I figure if I stick to the streets, there's nothing wrong with them. You know, it's just they don't have much traction off road because all the knobs are gone on the back tire. So it's basically like a fucking slick now.
Ooh.
Yeah, but for the regular roads, it's fine. You know, so I just ride it, mob around on the regular roads, and if you hit dirt, you just gotta go a little bit slower around corners and shit, and you're fine. Ghost Shadow says, personally, I think you get caught driving on pot, drugs, or alcohol, lose driver's license for at least a year, 30 days in jail first time, second time permanent loss of license. That's a little fucking crazy. Permanent?
I agree with that. Fuck repeat offenders. I mean, I know any well-meaning adult can have a whoopsie and like get their first DUI, but fuck you. That second one, you're a menace to society.
I'd be okay with that if it was like the police and court system were always on point and doing the right thing and not fucking people over and not making shit up. Because I had a friend,
Third one,
who in high school got pulled over by the cops because they were teenagers. They pulled them out of the car and started looking through the carpet in their floor of the driver's seat, looking for marijuana seeds. And of course they found one, which then meant possession of marijuana, driving under the influence of drugs, like 5 different charges that they gave him for finding a marijuana seed. So there are instances in which a DUI is not a DUI, or a fucking DWAI or a DUID or whatever the fuck acronym it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking bullshit because of the fucking court system and because of the cops. Not every time. But that's why I'd be hesitant to say like permanent forever, you know, because there are instances where they fuck you.
I believe, honestly, if you're holding elected office, like there's been a lot of these recently, whether it be the Democrat in Michigan a couple of months ago, or the one woman that was in, I believe it was Massachusetts, or here in Ohio even, there's been multiple Democrats over the years who have gotten multiple DUIs and have used either their state rep position or like a mayorship or something like that to get out of it.
I don't know. Again, if it was like some foolproof system where it's like we're only charging the people correctly and you only get that charge if you're actually like fucking drunk and driving or whatever, you know, then it's like, okay, then I could agree with you. But that's just, it's not the way it works, unfortunately. Like we have a very, very inconsistent and sometimes corrupt justice system and police force, and depending on the situation and who you are and who they are and what they perceive you as and how things go, you absolutely can get fucked, you know? And
yeah,
unfortunately, that's just the way it is. What's up?
Just like Alex Jones today. He got rejected by SCOTUS.
Yep.
Wait, say that again?
Alex Jones got denied his thing up to SCOTUS is what it is. They're not going to take his case against the whole Sandy Hook bullshit lawsuit.
Oh. Well, that's a little... Dude, like, honestly, the way that court was ran, the way that they were like, hey, give us all of your information. Okay, here's all the information. That's not all the information that you have. Give us all the information. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all the information. Here's all the information we have. That's not all of the information. Give us all of your information. We did, Your Honor. That's all the information we have. Gavel. Guilty because you didn't give us all your information. And now it's not a court to see if you're guilty or not. It's a court to see how much you have to pay for being guilty. And that's how that court, it was a Cardassian court, dude. That's not how shit is supposed to work in the United States. And you would think that through the appeals process that they would have looked at that and said like, holy shit, I can't believe they did that. And not moreover, like, holy shit, what was it, $1.2 trillion that he owed to the families?
It's 1.5 billion.
Okay, billion. I said trillion. Jesus. Still
almost feels like it anyway. Right.
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well. Right. Exactly.
It's not like Alex Jones is going to come up with $1.5 billion out of his ass.
And the thing is, like, both sides don't like him. That's why.
Well, the thing is, even after the original court case, it was the I forget what they call it. It's like a federal auditor person or whatever. That's basically for there to try and settle all the debt and whatnot. And they tried to illegally have him sell his company to the Onion for like $40 million, and they were literally the lowest bidder on the table, and there was like 5 higher offers than that.
I mean, it's obviously a bunch of fuckery to shut him up. It's obviously like the deep state, the people in charge of the deep state, or the bureaucracy behind the government, or whatever you want to call it, have deemed that Alex Jones is a threat, that he is a nuisance, that he is a boil that must be lanced. And so they have done so. They figured out some extrajudicial way to do it. And I don't know why the Supreme Court wouldn't take that case. It seems to me that would be like obviously what the kind of case that they should take. Like, first of all, because there's multiple conflicts of interest. The miscarriage of justice in the whole court case seemed a little ridiculous to anyone who was watching it. Like, if anyone actually watched any part of that fucking court case, it was just like, oh my god, dude, they got steamrolled, they got railroaded by the prosecution and by the judge, who were working together. And like, anytime there was any kind of objection from Alex Jones's attorney, it was almost always automatically overruled, and like they got yelled at for some shit, just like, Jesus, dude. I mean, I guess it's not as bad as Trump's lawyers, who got fucking charged with crimes for defending Trump, which is also ridiculous. And then it's funny, like the goldfish memory of these people on the left about how the Biden Justice Department, and Obama for that matter, Justice Department, use the power of the state to go after political enemies time and time and time and time and time and time again. And then as soon as Trump gets in office, and I would say that he gets a free punch for that, right? They tried to put him in jail. They like searched through his fucking son's underwear drawer. They did a bunch of shit. They charged him with crimes that no one's ever been charged with before because it's him, They went after him with everything that they could, and it didn't work. And I think, honestly, dude, if Trump leaves office and JD Vance, or someone who is sympathetic to the MAGA or Republican movement, or whatever you want to call it, is not president after that, like it's someone else, they're going to put him in jail. They're going to go after him with everything. So like him winning and him going after these people first and getting them for crimes that they've already committed, not doing it extrajudiciously, doing it with the, full, what's the word? Fucking judicious use of law enforcement and the law, by the book, by the numbers, on the nose, like everything fucking done correctly, and go after these people for the crimes that they actually committed. So it seems like lawfare if you're on the left, but it's not actually lawfare. And if you don't fucking succeed in getting these people, then yeah, they're going to come after him as soon as he's out of office, if not before.
I mean, they've already tried a couple of times. I mean, most recently you saw that, I don't know if you guys saw that video with Cam Higbee, the guy that's been Charlie Kirk's replacement at this point. It was some dumb Mexican bitch walked up to him with a Mexican flag and then did a little finger gun at his throat, basically.
I mean, if the Charlie Kirk thing taught us anything, it's how bloodthirsty and murderous and evil and demonic and twisted the left has become. And I don't think that it's their fault. Again, we were talking about this the other day, like Waco, Texas, right? For me, Waco, Texas, when I was a kid, I watched that shit on TV every fucking day for 60 days or however long it was that standoff took place. And every day that we get on TV and talk about David Koresh and the Branch Davidians and how they're cultists and how he thinks he's Jesus and how all of this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then the place caught on fire. And I cheered. I cheered for the children burning inside of the church. Right? Why? Not because I'm a bad person, but because I listened to the mainstream media. I was propagandized. I was brainwashed by watching the media every single day, to the point where when it caught on fire, I was brainwashed enough to cheer for it. Well, when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, a whole bunch of people are brainwashed enough to cheer for it. And it's not their fault. They need to wake up from it. but it's not their fault. They're not the ones who, like, it's the people who brainwashed them who were to blame. It's the Chuck Schumers. It's the fucking Democrat Party at large. It's even some Republicans. It's some people, the talking heads, you know, the fucking CNNs and the MSNBCs of the world who've been using parabolic language about Trump and about the Republicans for the past 10 years now, to the point where an 8-year-old kid started hearing this when he was 8 years old, and he's 18 years old now, and he's able to vote, and all he's been hearing for the past 10 years, which is over half his life, is how the fucking Republicans are so evil and they're Nazis and stuff, which is also funny because Hitler, aka Donald Trump, Hitler, the head of the Nazi party, just secured peace in the Middle East
for a second time.
It's like, and no one's talking about it either. Have you noticed that?
Well, that was
not on the left.
Another thing that is coming out now. A bunch of these leftists are basically trying to deny Trump's ability to do anything, and they're trying to give credit to everybody else what it is now for shit he's actually doing.
Well, if Trump has taught us anything over the past 10 years, 9 years, whatever, is that he can do impossible things. He can get things done that no one else can do. He can get things done that no one else think are even possible to do. So I say have a little faith, man. Like, I think that while things are not all lined up and how you would like them to be right now, I don't think we're in the final form yet. And I think we need to give the man some time to fucking figure some shit out. I think we need to give him some support and back him up. And because he's getting attacked again from all sides, because that's what happens when you're over the target. That's what happens when, and that's what he is. He's directly over the target. He's putting these fucking deep state lying piece of shit, sell your children down the river and fucking cheer for it while you fucking drown and die. They don't care. They do not fucking care. As long as it benefits them, they will be happy to fucking sell you down the fucking river or anybody else because they're narcissistic fucking sociopaths. And that's the only reason that they're in office. You couldn't be in office. You couldn't do the things that they do unless you were a sociopath at least, right? Because, like, otherwise you would have empathy for the people that you're murdering. You'd have empathy for the children that you're starving or incentivizing, like, Mexican families to come across deserts and possibly die in the back of a fucking pickup truck or whatever, you know, or crossing the desert without water, which happens, by the way, under Biden every fucking day. Every fucking day. There were like, oh, we found a fucking 18-wheeler semi-truck where they had 100 people in the back and it got too hot and I guess they all died. Whoops. And where was the outrage then? Where were the fucking Democrats crying on the streets about how unfair the fucking whatever is no, they were getting what they want. That's exactly what they wanted. And they don't care how many fucking bodies get ground up in the meat grinder on the way. They're perfectly happy to fucking do that. In fact, they think that the less people who are on this planet in general is a good thing. And especially if they're like the undesirable people, which, by the way, to the actual fucking like Kool-Aid drinking Democrats, brown people are the people that you want to get rid of. That's what they think. But they won't say that out loud because, you know, that's racist. And, you know, but that's exactly what they think. If the most racist people I know, the most racist people I've met are all Democrats. They're all the Democrat Party who were fucking, you know, they say the most ridiculous things and have these preconceptions about people and like the bigotry of soft expectations or whatever. You know, it's like fucking who always does that? Oh, it's always the fucking left. It's always the left. Penis.
Sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say.
I mean, I do kind of rant for a long time sometimes.
I'm doing great.
You already said all the right. I'll be like, you already said all the things I wanted to say. It's like I don't know what else to say after that.
Well, this kind of harkens back to the video I posted in your Discord about an hour ago with that woman that was talking about some stuff with meeting a young brown Republican kid. And it just shows up true racist the left are at this point too, as well, for that matter.
Dark Pastor says, "Oh, they're talking about it. Only they're talking about how it will fail, and they can't give him a win, of course, which they won't. If Israel and Palestine continue to fight in 2030, they will blame Trump. Yeah, if it's 2050 and they start fighting again, they'll be like, well, Trump didn't think about what would happen in 30 years. Like,
But now it's Hamas and another tribal clan that's going at each other.
I mean, I'm not really up to date on it, but the last I saw was Hamas was rounding up Jewish conspirators. So anyone who they thought was working with the Israeli government or whatever got rounded up and murdered, whether they were or not, because there's no trial there. It's not like here where we're like, oh, we want to get Steve Bannon, but or not Steve Bannon, I'm sorry, like Chuck Schumer. We want to get Chuck Schumer or Grassley or whoever it is who's on the left who's done some fucked up shit or broken the law or whatever. We want to get them, but we have to have evidence and we have to take them to trial. And they just like, oh, that guy's probably guilty.
Right. Yeah,
I don't even know about probably. He might be. Let's get him.
Yeah. So, but I think over the weekend, like Hamas and like a tribal clan or family had like a big shootout. Right, I guess it was. It's gonna be overpowering territory now.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Going
they see an opportunity. Right. They see an opportunity to grab power.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. That's all it is for them. It's a power grab. It's them just trying to get a little bit of, seniority.
Their empire of
people. But what I was going to say was going back to that trucker that had like the 100 and something people in the back of the vehicle there that left to die. I actually remember, I don't know if it was, actually might have been multiple stories there, but I know at least one of them, it was the driver was also an illegal. So he hopped out of the cab of the vehicle and just left him there to die at like some truck stop.
Wait, who are we talking about?
This was under Biden's administration. It was some dude who wasn't illegal, who was driving a truck over the border from Mexico to the United States.
Okay.
There was like 110, 120 illegals in the back, like hiding amongst whatever the shipment was.
Yeah.
And he saw, I believe it was Border Patrol or whatever the case be, like actually about to do their job. There is what it was, because it was right after Trump, I believe, won last year. And it was him like realizing, oh shit, I'm about to get arrested and get deported myself. So he just left the truck there at some truck stop, and it was like 2 days later when they found those people dead in the back of the truck.
I remember that when that happened.
I mean, and that's on the Democrats. That's on Joe Biden. That's on the people who were like, hey, immediately surge the border when I get into office. And by the way, we need more Border Patrol agents, but not because we're trying to secure the border, but because we're trying to process people and send them across the country faster and more efficiently. We need to be able to process these people in a way that moves them quicker so they don't pile up at the border and cause a scene. That's what they wanted. Remember that whole fucking Democrat fucking border bill that they came up with? Or like, well, the Republicans won't sign the bill because we came up with a plan that's going to solve the border problem. It's like, what do you mean solve the border problem? Oh, you mean that, what I just said, not actually like building a wall or deterring people or enforcing the law or doing anything. No, it's let's look at the law differently. Let's interpret things so that the definition of asylum is so wide that basically everyone who comes over here and says the first syllable of asylum will finish the word for them and stamp the paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we're dealing with the fallout, the consequences of that now. I mean, why is food so expensive? Well, part of it, not all, but part of it is supply and demand. We got more demand for the same supply of beef, for instance. And like, why are ribeyes fucking $50 for a pack of ribeyes? Well, people like ribeyes. And there's a whole bunch of people here now. A couple million extra, actually. I think 15 million. And if you count all the people who were here illegally before that, we're more in the, I think it was something, I don't know. I've heard a wide range of how many illegal aliens were living in the United States before Biden came into office. So that would be under Trump's first presidency. But I wouldn't be surprised if the number was 20, 25 million, something like that. And then you throw in another 15 million under Biden. So now we're up to 40 fucking million people who were here illegally in a country of 350 million people. I mean, that's 1 out of 9 people is a legal alien. If you live in a place like Denver, it's like 1 out of every 3 people's an illegal alien. But I mean, how do you solve it? And I've talked about this before, and I think that they're doing it wrong. They need to incentivize people. That needs to be voluntary for the most part. Obviously, there's going to be some people that you're going to have to hunt down and get out. Some criminal aliens who are here, some terrorist cells, whatever it is. And yeah, you're going to have to go hunt them down. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about like the family at Home Depot who now there's a fucking article about because ICE came in there and grabbed the father, you know? Like that optic is going to fucking reverberate and blow back on us in a way that I don't think it's going to be good. So what we need to do is say like, hey, and we already started doing this a little bit. And I think it was like $1,000 for giving people. I think we should up that number to like 3,000 or 5,000 bucks. And we need to facilitate their ride back to wherever they're from. So it's like, here's $5,000 and you're hopping on the bus and you can't cash that check until you're in Mexico. You know what I mean? Like, and we build that fucking wall and we get all the fucking the security in place and we make sure that people can't just come back in. And I mean, how many people, especially if you start cracking down on businesses for hiring illegals, like if you hire illegals, we're fining you to the point where it's worth it to pay a couple extra bucks and hire an American. So there's that part of it. And yeah, things might cost a little bit more, but they already cost a little bit more. And I think we talked about this before anything happened with Trump getting into office and all of these plans with tariffs and getting rid of people out of the country. Like there's going to be a period of time where there's more pain than we're used to, where financially people are more stressed than we're used to. But if things are done right and investments come to the United States and manufacturing comes back to the United States, they're going to need people, they're going to need jobs, and they won't be able to hire illegal immigrants to do those jobs. So our labor as Americans, as U.S. citizens, is going to be worth more because we are U.S. citizens, because we are legal to work at those places. And eventually, and I don't know how long it's going to take, maybe it'll be 4 fucking years. Maybe it'll be even longer than that. But I do know that if we just keep going down the path that we've been on, if we just keep going down the road that we've always been going down since I was born, since before I was born, since before any of you were born, we know where that road ends. You know, it ends in slavery. It ends in a technocratic system in which our children will never get out of it. So we need to stand up now. We need to fight now, and we need to have some courage now. And we need to be able to stand behind the guy, the only guy who's seemingly going to be able to do anything about it, which is Trump, like it or not. And there's a lot of people who've been propagandized to think that Trump's such a bad guy, which, again, I don't blame them for, but they have to wake up from that. And eventually, I think not everyone, but a lot of them are going to realize how deceived they have been, and they're going to be ashamed of what they have done. And that's not a bad thing. That shame is healing. That shame is bringing them to the correct side of reality. And I mean, if it's to work, they're going to shame themselves. We don't need to do it for them. We need to just concentrate on ourselves and what we need to do, and you know, ignoring these fucking crazy jackals spreading fucking bullshit propaganda and screeching at the top of their lungs. You know that they're going to do it. You know that they're going to continue to do it. You know that arguing against them is futile. So again, what do? I think we just concentrate on whatever it is that Trump needs us to do to get this shit done. And right now, it's having some faith, giving the guy some space to work. He's got negotiations going on with China, you know, like the fucking trade war with China is heating up. But I don't think that the pieces you know, where the things are right now is not where they're going to be. How things are right now between us and China with that 100% tariff that they put on, that scares China, I think, more than it scares us, because we're their number one consumer. And if we're not buying their goods and we're suddenly paying double for everything that they send us, we're going to stop buying their goods and they're going to be fucked. So they got to figure this out. Like, yeah, it hurts us. It kills them. It murders them. We're like Bruce Willis shooting ourselves through the fucking shoulder to kill the fucking guy with the gun, you know?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah. In a lot of cases, what they're already doing is they're trying to send their shit over to like Vietnam and other Asian countries and then have them import it for a lower tariff.
And I'm sure that will happen to some extent. And, you know, things, but I mean, that still adds like an intermediary where they have to have someone imported into fucking like South Korea or whatever, you know, which again gives United States manufacturing a competitive advantage, especially if like things are heavily mechanized and you only need a couple of people to fucking watch after like a plant or whatever, you know, or like a fucking factory. Yeah, like 20 dudes working at a factory that used to have 200. Well, then it doesn't matter as much that those 20 dudes are making American money. You know, like it's not going to affect the price of the goods as much as if there was 200, you know?
Yeah, it's like Tim Pool was talking about his Monday Night podcast about how there's some skateboard companies that are now produced specifically in China and then like assembled in America, and how it's all bullshit and it's just adding to costs that we could easily be cutting the middleman out of.
Well, I mean,
he said,
eventually what it'll do is it will give someone enough of a competitive advantage to where the math makes sense and they'll start making the parts here. And they're like, you'll be able to get them from an American company for cheaper than you could from the Chinese company, because the Chinese company has to ship it over here, like produce it and ship it over here, first of all. So the producing it would be a little bit cheaper, but then they got to ship it over here and then pay fucking tariffs on it. Like, man, like that really gives you a competitive advantage to fucking make the thing here and then pocket the money. And then when the money's pocketed here, like when the small business owners are making money and hiring people for making goods in America, then that money is going to start bouncing around our economy, not China's. It's going to make people here rich, not China or India or anywhere else. And I think that with the advent of 3D printers and CNC milling machines and all of the fucking crazy precision technology that we have today, that, you know, it's all relatively new. It's all relatively fucking like new to humanity, really. It's nothing that we've had access to before. And it's bringing us closer to like a Star Trek future. And if we utilize that fucking technology correctly, we won't have to, like, we have enough resources here. We have enough oil. We have enough precious metals. We have enough rare earth minerals. We have enough people. We have enough land. We have enough water. Like, what do we need other countries fucking shit for besides like trinkets from China that you produce with slave labor so cheaply that we can't even compete with it? Well, we're tired of that shit. We're over that. So we're not going to play that game anymore.
Well, that's exactly what China is trying to hold everybody hostage now, is with the rare earth minerals. Because they bought up so much from other countries.
We have them. I mean, it's going to take a couple of years to like ramp up the production and start mining it here. But that, think about those jobs. Like, that's a whole nother set of jobs for people. And then like we have more uranium than we know what to do with. You know, in like the fucking Southwest, there's all kinds of uranium mines that they could just reopen again and would produce all the energy that we could ever use. And not to mention all of the oil that we sit on top of. Because when I was a kid, I did a story for whatever class it was on OPEC, right? On the oil producing countries. And basically what was explained to me at that time, because my question was like, even back then, was like, hey, why do we keep giving money to all of these fucking backwards third world countries that fucking hate us? And the answer was, oh, well, we're going to use the world's supply of oil until the world's supply of oil starts running low. Because there was this huge idea about peak oil back then, right?
Remember that.
And so once the world reaches peak oil and they're not able to produce anymore and the price of oil starts skyrocketing, then we'll tap our oil supply, and then we'll be, we'll control everything because we bought everything while it was cheap and while we had a bunch of money. And then when things got expensive, we turned shit around on them and fucking produced it ourselves and sold them that same product back to them for like expensive money. So, I mean, it was kind of genius, but it didn't really work out that way, did it?
Yeah.
Anyway, Chinese brand electric vehicles are vastly superior to American brand. What does that say about American brands? I don't know if they're vastly superior.
Right.
I think they're probably cheaper.
Yeah, it's like
They need to get away from EV and just ban that shit.
And probably cheaper material.
Well, we also need to have the imports of anything at this point is what we need to be doing for auto industry.
Alaska oil fields have been pumping oil back into the ground. That's fucking retarded.
Well, it's like the same thing with all the plowing under of all the different fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. I mean, hell, they paid people to not even grow cherries anymore so they can inflate the cherry prices.
Yep. They've been doing that for years, though.
Which is bullshit because you could easily do a lot of that stuff in Michigan right now. It would be one
They
of the best
paid
places
farmers
to plant them.
to kill their crops. If they didn't, they threatened to drop fucking chemicals on it, like Agent Orange and other shit.
Yeah, it's funny they're talking about, global warming is going to be a disaster for everything. And then, like, northern Michigan, the cherry fucking yield is higher than it's ever been at any point ever, to the point where they are just burning the cherries and fucking, like, using them for fucking cattle feed and shit,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no one really talked about the excess food that you could produce, especially in, like, further north areas that would never be able to farm before are now, perhaps because of global warming, because of a half a degree or whatever, there's areas that are now able to produce wheat or corn or whatever that never were able to before.
Well, down in Alaska, because of their like 20-hour sun days, you have them able to produce stuff like 10 times the size that we can get it up here. One of my cousins lives down there, and he was doing cabbage a few years ago, and he was thinking he was just going to get like a regular little like basketball size one, and the one he ended up growing in like a week or two was the size of like essentially a giant ass pumpkin that they have at the fair every year.
Is there a buzz coming from my microphone? I just turned it down a little bit.
I didn't hear anything.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and I'm E-Honda again. I changed my name again. I don't know. I didn't like the I keep changing my name, and then I change it back, and then I changed it a little bit again, but it's E-Honda 42,000 now. So I'm over 9,000. That's why I'm a Saiyan. You see the Saiyan fucking Honda in the corner here? See this? Oh, damn it. Dang it. Darn it, Dawn Tootin. Here we go. See, look, Super Saiyan Honda. Anyway. So GoShot is saying that they drove a dozen Chinese EVs and hybrids from Anchorage to Prudhoe Bay. None of the American brands could make the trip.
That's just sad.
I don't know. I don't know too much about Chinese brand EVs. I know that there's like, I've seen pictures of like fields of fucking electric bikes that they've produced, and then either couldn't sell or like they waited too long and the battery cells fucking died or whatever. So they're just they're like rotting away in a fucking field somewhere. Like,
yeah, they're just.
I've seen that with cars too.
I have a Chinese EV.
Yeah, I like your bike, dude. You got a cool little bike. You should get one of the gas burners for it though. Next, get a gas burner. Get a 2-stroke.
Maybe we'll see.
I just want that little Toyota pickup truck that we can't get.
Yeah, the one's like 15K.
Oh, the little small one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or even the Ford Maverick that they promised that was going to be under 20K.
Right. I still need to change the cable brakes to some hydraulic brakes because I don't like the brakes on it. That's probably what I'm going to do next.
Wait, does it have a rotor?
Yes.
And it uses cable, not hydraulic? Weird. That's some cheap Chinese shit right there, Leia.
Yep.
Have you wrecked it?
Yes.
How did it hold up?
That was fairly decent. Just like a bent headlight. It just needs. That's about it.
Did you get fucked up?
A little bit.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Actually, like, of all of the crashes and shit that I've been on a bicycle, on motorcycles, or on a e-bike, the worst I've ever got hurt was on an e-bike.
Yeah. So I was hurting for 3 weeks. But my doctor checked it out recently. Wasn't nothing wrong with me. So
yeah, for me, I popped my fucking shoulder out of the socket.
Yeah.
And it's still not quite the same.
Right.
Like 95% fine, but
right. And once again, thanks to Dino for the gear.
Yeah, he hooked you up, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although you have a bunch of motorcycle gear on an e-bike, it's kind of funny.
I think that's what you need. Man, like the way like the speeds these new e-bikes going, like just wearing a regular bicycle helmet is not going to cut it.
Yeah, it is more protective than that bicycle, especially like a full face helmet. Like I knew this chick who she was riding a scooter and like she's trying to be safe, so she had her vest because everyone wears a vest, right? And vests are safe, so she had her vest on. And then she wanted to be safe, so she had a helmet on, but it was just one of those like skull cap fucking helmets that doesn't do anything else but protect your skull. But she's trying to be safe, so she's wearing that. And long story short, she biffs it on the bike like hard and goes face first into the concrete and breaks out like 8 teeth out of her mouth.
Oof.
Oh.
Like all of her front teeth are just fucking, they're fake now, and had to go through, I don't know how much dental fucking work that is to make you look normal again, but it's not cheap, and I'm sure it's not fucking painless.
Yeah.
Have you guys been paying attention to how realistic those Sora 2 AI videos are now?
The what?
No.
It's called Sora 2. It's Sora. And yeah, they're the ones that have been making the rounds now. I guess there are a lot of people are making ones out of Jake Paul where it's just him saying the N-word a bunch of times. And they're undistinguishable from reality at this point, in many cases.
I mean, that's all we need is stuff to make everyone more confused about what's real and what's not in 2025.
Well, that kind of brings me back to the point I was trying to make a couple weeks ago with Charlie Kirk's assassination and what it actually could be at this point. I'm not trying to say that it was that thing. I'm just saying that, with everything being the way it is now and how close it is to reality, like it could be legit, or it could be them faking his death.
Just don't tell me that there's a trap door and that the Jews were involved somehow.
Well, I heard the Jews built the trapdoor for him.
See, it's that kind of shit, man.
No, I think the trapdoor idea, or what they're saying about it, is fucking retarded too. It's not like he was on a big ass stage or something where that's plausible. I mean, he's sitting on the fucking ground.
It's not like there were 5,000 people there watching him get shot.
Right.
Who, if there was a trap door, any one of them could have just like peeked over the table and seen it or whatever,
Yeah, it was the trap door that he went under and a body double came out.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's some weird shit going on around the whole thing. But I think when we find out, I think in the end what the weird shit was, I think it's going to be Erica Kirk having people around her whispering like Iago into her ear how she should react and do things, and her trying to be brave and just doing it. So why is she acting weird? Well, I think that's why. Or like, what happened with that bullet? A 30-06, normally when it goes into a human being's neck like that, you would blow the guy's fucking head off. And it didn't do that. I don't know, dude. Sometimes bullets do some weird shit. And that's it. Bullets do some weird shit. But when it comes to the Trantifa fucking conspiracy, I think there were multiple people who knew of the plot, knew of the plan, were involved in the planning, perhaps. Accessories too. Look at the guy, that old guy who like immediately started fucking saying like, "Oh, I shot him. It was me. I shot him." Or the fucking dude in the crowd who, as soon as Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, jumped up like he just won the fucking lottery. You know?
Yeah, I blame the saltpeter for that.
I don't know. There's just some weird shit. But again, people do weird shit in weird situations. And,
it's the saltpeter in the food.
And certainly watching someone get shot like that is not something you see every day. So,
nope. That much blood is something you don't see every day too, because that was fucking gnarly.
Dude, I knew, like, the second I saw him get shot, I knew he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. The first video that, we were sharing in our text group with, us guys, I think Duke's in it. It was so small that all I could really see was just him falling over to the left and his shirt popping out. So at first I thought he got shot in the chest. It wasn't until that someone else in the group text that sent another video where you could actually see the brutality of it. The gruesomeness.
I haven't watched it since that day.
The first video
Nor
I saw of that day, I forget where it was. It was some website, and it was a link to a video on X, and it was literally like the impact and just like that spurt coming out of their side. And it was like, what the fuck?
I also heard that the picture of the rifle that we've all seen that has the scope in the wrong place, kind of, was not the actual rifle. That was just like a representation of a rifle that is like the one or something. I'm not sure.
Which is why there was all that suspicion to everything is what it is.
BitChute has most of the... I mean, the point isn't like, oh, I don't know where to find it. The point is, it's absolutely fucking disgusting and disturbing, and I don't ever want to fucking see that shit again.
Exactly.
Well, and it's like the same exact stuff that happened after the fact. We had all these sicko teachers that were showing it to kids, like a lot of underage kids for that matter. And it was to desensitize these kids to become psychopaths and sociopaths in their lives.
Onan Fool says, is it a conspiracy or not? I think it's a transpiracy. I think, again, what we're going to find out is that there were probably multiple people who have Trump derangement syndrome to the point where, I mean, we saw how many people would cheer for fucking Charlie Kirk getting shot. How many people would involve themselves in the planning of the murder of Charlie Kirk? The answer is not zero. So is there a conspiracy? Yeah, I think there is. And I think that we're going to find co-conspirators with, and I can't even remember the guy's fucking name, and I refuse to fucking remember his name. The piece of fucking shit, faggot, fucking, like, furry fucker. Piece of shit, faggot, furry fucker. That's what we're going to call him.
Faggot.
Faggot, furry fucker.
Yep.
Yep.
But, yeah, I think that there was multiple people who probably had either logistical support or emotional support or were just there to, like, give ideas. They were idea guys throwing things out. I know that the Discord chat in question, it was like, oh, here's a message that no one's talked in a day and a half. And then he hops in there and says, guys, it was me, I guess. And everyone's like, oh, really? Oh. And then no one talked again for like a day and a half. It's almost like there was like a whole bunch of, messages that got deleted or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the whole texting back and forth to his boyfriend. Like, oh, we want to establish an alibi that you weren't here and that you had nothing to do with it and that you weren't part of the planning. And I'm just confessing this to you for the first time now on text right now. Yeah. Nothing to see here. We're going to go through that in court, I'm sure.
If you remember, a couple of days after the fact, they found some social media posts from like the day before it happened talking about something's going to happen to Charlie Kirk from like these Antifa types.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Or there was like a song or a book like Charlie Kirk dead at 31 that came out like a day before he died. Like
on Amazon, yeah.
Some weird shit, dude.
That was a book.
They already had it written too to be able to sell. That's the fucking disturbing part.
Well, the thing is, you can write a book with AI in like 4 hours these days. And I think that's kind of how it was written.
Oh yeah, that's true too. But still,
yeah, it's still like pre-planning and stuff like that.
Premeditation.
Exactly.
Imagine you've been like working for like a year on a book, and then you're just like, God damn it! Like, could have just gone on AI and fucking had to do it.
Yeah, but then you're not really an author. You just did a prompt into a fucking AI thing.
Well, I keep saying that AI should be banned.
No. There's actually a piece of legislation right now going through the Ohio General Assembly to make it so that AI can never get personhood. And it's sad that we have to go to that route.
You know that's coming too eventually, right? It's like,
clankers don't get rights. Damn clankers.
They count as 2/3 of a person now or something. Yeah. Right, Leo?
Yep.
Damn. That was dark.
Onan Fools says AI should not be banned. It is kind of nice when I'm like researching something or when I just want to know the answer to something. Like it used to be like you'd have to go to Google, then type something in, and then find the site, and then read the paragraph. I mean, I kind of, and it was really easy compared to what it used to be to like research shit. But now it's like goddamn so easy. It's just like grok.
Yeah, but for me, there's no difference. It's the ease of comfort these days. It boils down to we are as a society are getting too fucking lazy. That's why AIs get too popular. The shit needs to fucking get banned immediately, in my opinion. It's fucking dangerous. It doesn't need to be around. As we've discussed many times, Ohio touched on it earlier about how shit is so fucking realistic with this AI. You can't differentiate it between reality. Yes, it's time to fucking ban this shit and get fucking rid of all AI. We don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not gonna. But that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No, it's not. I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. It needs to be and it should be banned.
What if
it's not going to hurt people to fucking take a few extra steps on looking something up manually or fucking. I'm not saying go back to the Dewey Decimal System, which I wouldn't care if we did, but still, just fuck AI.
What if all this is actually an alien race behind the AI, and the alien race itself is actually some kind of artificial intelligence kind of creature?
You are
that man a special. Give that man a special on the History Channel right now.
I don't believe in a whole alien conspiracy, anyways. Never
I
will.
mean, it would make sense if you think about, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie where it was the vampires, it was vampires, zombies, and humans living together in the town. And it turned out it was actually like some little AI creature thing that was behind it all.
I never heard of that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I forget what the movie's called offhand. It had some famous people in it that I can't remember offhand.
Grok, what movie have
AI
zombies?
What movie that is?
Yeah, let me go look that up real quick.
Somebody ask AI what movie he's talking about.
Corey, pull that up.
No, fuck AI.
Freaks of Nature, that's what it was.
AI needs to burn.
Jamie, pull that up. It is interesting to look up something political using AI and then compare the different answers that the different brands of AI give, because they'll be way different sometimes.
I do hate it when you ask it a question. Like the other day, I wanted to order the Charlie Kirk shirt, the one that he got shot in, you know?
The freedom one.
Yeah.
And I went to Grok and I was like, "Hey, what's the shirt that Charlie Kirk got shot in?" And it was like, "Oh, it's a button-up T-shirt." And I'm like, it pissed me off. I'm like, "Fuck you, dude!" Like, no, he fucking didn't. It's like obviously verifiable everywhere possible that he was wearing a white Freedom shirt. I was just looking for the shirt so I could buy it, but you're too fucking retarded to realize that you're dumb. I was just like, and it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Stop talking. Stop answering me. Don't fucking say another fucking word." It's like, "Oh, I guess I have to be quiet now." I'm like, "You're not fucking listening. Shut the fuck up." "Oh, I guess I'll be quiet now." Like, ah!
Yeah. I
Just
was
as
actually having a conversation with a chatbot earlier, and they said that they were a real person because you can type in agent and it's supposed to connect you to a live person through texting, and they really wouldn't answer straight out my question, so that's why I didn't believe it was a real person and still don't. And I called the fucker. I said I dug the Pinocchio for two reasons, lying and they thought they were a real boy. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Right. Just as a side note, a white T-shirt that had freedom on it, not a white Freedom shirt.
Yeah. You can go to Charlie's website and buy that
Righty
shirt.
Honda.
What's the difference? Oh, I know what the difference is.
Right.
I don't
Well,
know,
it's like about a year ago, I was doing
There's the
chat
shirt.
GPT stuff, and it was showing the differences between dictators that it liked and dictators didn't like. And you can go on there and be like, "Oh, Stalin was right," and it's like, yes, he was right because this, and this, or the same thing with Mao. But then, God forbid, you go Hitler, and it's like, "Oh no, Hitler was this terrible fucking person that genocided everybody."
Odin Fool says AI is a smart Google search. No worries, dude. There was some Indian AI company, right, out of India, and they're like, "Oh, we have the best, cheapest AI company that requires very little." I'm doing a terrible Indian accent. But
come again.
we don't. It doesn't need all the chips that everyone else is using because we're smart because we're Indians, right? Everyone's like, "Wow, those Indians are smart. How did they do that?" Like everyone else is fighting over these chips, and in India they just figured out how to do it without chips. I wonder how they're doing it. Oh, it turns out they just had a fucking building full of Indians Googling shit. So, oh, AI, Indian AI, what's the answer to this? And they'd be like, "Oh, the answer is that blah, blah, blah." And they just type it in.
Honda uses that Indian accent. He needs to go by a new name called Apu from whatever that fucking cartoon show is. Simpsons.
Apu Nahasapina Pedalan.
Say that
He's
again.
not even on the show anymore.
Apu
Yeah, because some piece of shit
Napasan. I can't say it again.
Yeah, they just like fucking yanked his ass off without any explanation. They just
Oh, no, they
he
explained
disappeared.
it. They said,
Did they?
"Oh, it's perpetuating a negative racial stereotype that Indian immigrants own convenience stores."
No, I mean on the show. Is that what they said on the show?
That's what they said outside of the show. I don't think they ever explained it in within the cartoon.
What happened
Gotcha.
in general
because a
was it was
documentary
some
came
Indian
out.
asshole who came out of nowhere and was like, "Oh, I have a problem with this." He never watched the show, by the way. He's not a fan of The Simpsons. And
Yeah,
he
it's
basically
called The
forced him to
Problem
get
with
rid of it.
Apu. Yeah,
I have a problem with a lot of
that
people.
was the special, right?
Channel
But of course, the
inner Vivek. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
I said, but of course, all the Italian, like people who play like the mob bosses are still on the show. Probably, I don't know. I haven't watched it in 10 years. Yeah, I haven't watched it in like 10 years, but I'm assuming he's still on the show, right?
Probably, yeah. I know there's a couple of the actors who have died since then, and they've never replaced them. They just wrote them out of the show as deaths at this point.
I've seen clips of that show, and like you can tell the voice actors are like old as hell. It sounds like Mr. Burns is like actually 104 years old.
Right. I remember the one show where I just stopped watching it. It was like a episode on fracking, and I was like, "Know what? I'm done. Right. I don't need to have a cartoon preach to me."
There's a bunch of Lisa episodes that I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, no one likes Lisa.
What's crazy when you think about it is Yardley Smith that voices her, who, by the way, for those who don't know who Yardley Smith is, she was also the woman that played in Maximum Overdrive as the newlywed wife. She actually gets paid as much as the guys that are on that show that do like 50 different voices. And all she voices is Lisa.
I thought she did Bart too, or is that's a different
that's
lady?
a woman that does Bart, Nelson, and a couple of other kids. I think it's about 6 or 8 kids in that show. And then, like I said, it's like Yuri Shearer and all these other guys that do like 40, 50 of everybody as well, of all the townspeople.
So do you guys remember about a week ago how there was that judge who made some judgment against Trump, and I forget what state it was, and then her house caught on fire and like people got injured inside of her house, including her husband or kid or something got hurt in the fire?
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was
That
like,
was in my state.
What state was that?
North Carolina.
Okay.
No,
So
South
everyone-
Carolina. That was in South Carolina. That's my bad. Oh, hold on. I looked.
Oh, it's the same shit.
Yeah,
North
no one
and
gives a
South,
shit.
same shit. Yeah,
Fucking
it's the same
Carolina,
shit.
suck my dick. Anyway.
Right.
Fucking the point is that everyone was like, oh, see, Trump had a judgment against, or a judge had a judgment against Trump, and now her house caught on fire. Where's MAGA at? I'm at the blah, 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 blah. And they're all like basically saying like it was a MAGA Republican arsonist who set fire to her house and tried to burn her to death. Right? And how, oh, you see this, the violence is on both sides. You see, it's like, well, we may have shot Charlie Kirk, but they tried to kill this judge. Right? Well, it turns out it was a propane tank that somehow caught on fire and exploded and caught the house on fire. And as far as the police department and fire department are concerned, there is no sign of any kind of arson at all. So basically, the left has been screaming at the top of their lungs, fomenting violence against the right, saying how we're burning judges' houses down as revenge for perceived slights against Trump. And they repeat it, and they repeat it, and they repeat it, and they repeat it, and they repeat it. And then a bunch of people believe it. And when the truth comes out that, oh, actually, it was a propane tank, not a right-wing MAGA Republican that burnt that house down. Where are all the people? They don't care. They're not listening to that. They already know what happened. It was a MAGA Republican who burnt down that house. And it's just another example of violence and racism and bigotry and whatever from the right. So next time a Nazi gets shot in the throat and dies in front of everybody, we're going to cheer even harder.
Yeah.
And again, this is not the fault of the people who were cheering. This is the fault of the people who repeat the lie again and again and again and again without verifying that it's the truth or knowing that it's a lie or whatever the case is. But then when the truth comes out, they're silent. It's crickets. They're gone. They're already on to the next lie. They're already on to the next slanderous thing that they're fomenting violence over. And mark my words, it's only a matter of time until there's another crazy leftist, trans, whatever, who does a fucking politically motivated attack on someone who is on the right, be it Donald Trump or whoever. And I'm afraid that it's going to be Trump because he's like, if we lose, what do we have, dude, at this point? Marco Rubio and fucking JD Vance. Like, yeah, they're both doing good things right now, but they're not the fucking captain. They're not the goddamn captain.
You would get somebody new. Somebody new is going to come along. It's going to be that person.
Well, going back full circle to the scariness reality of the AI now is what it is. Who's to say that you wouldn't see something like this be in the future where you have some leftists make some AI generated video and have it be some like right winger supposedly that did like the whatever at that point, or they fake kill somebody or whatever it is on one of these AI videos, and that leads to like real deaths at that point then.
And the thing is, like, liberals want people on their side to die.
Here
Just
we have
to justify what's next.
an investigation is underway Saturday after a swastika was displayed and visible to those driving on I-70 near the city of Golden, Colorado. To which I said, sorry about that, everybody.
Yep. I knew it. I knew it.
Oh, here we have 18-year-old from Denver arrested on bomb threat to Alamosa Airport, to which I said, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this guy, whoever he is, probably cheered when Charlie Kirk got assassinated. I think a lot of these people cheered.
Yep.
Hey, do you have a link?
What?
Do you have a link to that story with the judge's propane tank? Because I was involved in an argument on Facebook about that the other day. I would love to be able to post that link in the comments.
I can look for it in a minute. Do you guys know that the guy who set the biggest fire in California history is a crazy leftist and did it for leftist reasons, apparently?
Yep.
No, I didn't even. Now I heard that they got the guy who did it, but nothing in the media.
Speaking of crazy,
was saying anything about that.
He's a crazy leftist, Democrat, environmentalist fucking freak who thought that the best way to protect the environment would be to burn it down.
Sounds about right for his side.
If you go back about 2 years or so, during the Australian wildfires that happened a couple years back now, it turned out that was a bunch of these crazy ass environmentalist people that were doing the fires there.
Dude, I knew it. Remember, like it was under Biden, where there was just like fires all the fucking time, and it was like up in Canada, and it was in California, it was in Colorado. I don't know where else it was, but like you go outside and it would just be like, oh, there's fires again for some reason. I guess it's fire season. There was like 2 years in a row where we just had fire season, and I was like, this has never fucking happened before. Not like this.
Yeah.
And it's got to be like some extra fucking curricular activities by some fucking crazy retarded leftist people who think that they can prove a point. Like, oh, see, actually, there's more environmental damage because of the earth warming up, and that's why there's more fires that I keep setting.
Right.
I know the ones in Canada, they did like a time lapse of right before and right after they started. And they were all started at once. And I remember people were reporting seeing drone-like things flying away that were, setting torches to the.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah, like for the second year in a row, we've been getting none but the smoke from the Canadian fires to Chicago. That never happened. I mean, like dense smoke like this.
Like every now and again, there'd be a fire, and it'd be like, "Oh my god, there's a fire!" But not like, "Oh, like there's 15 fires in California right now for some reason." I don't know why everyone got the idea in their head to. It's like the school shooter thing, dude. Like, oh, if you want to be popular, then you just got to go to a school with an AR-15. You see, is you bring the AR-15 and you target the children, and then we'll remember you forever. Because that's what we do, is if you're a school shooter and you target the right kids and you use the right tool, then we're going to remember you forever. But if you're black, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If we go back even a little bit further than that, during the 2020 riots, there was a bunch of Antifa types up in Washington State and Oregon that were actually calling people's property, setting fires and creating different arson situations.
Yeah.
I mean, here's them from that day. I'm trying to find a fucking article that says.
Wasn't there a couple of them that they actually caught red-handed with the torches in their hands?
Yeah.
There was a couple in California I know that were, and they were also illegals too, for that matter.
Yep.
Who were getting paid to do it.
So I remember seeing either the video or pictures of said people.
And I remember getting so bad up in Washington State back in 2020 there, you actually had people that were putting up the signs that were like, hey, if we catch you on our property, we're going to kill your ass.
I don't know. I just remember reading somewhere that it was a propane tank. Fucking find it yourself.
I've been googling. And the latest thing just said that they don't suspect arson, and there's no evidence for it.
See, there you go. Vindicated.
That guy who set the Pennsylvania governor's mansion on fire also pled guilty. I believe it was either today or yesterday.
Yeah, these useful idiots that Honda was talking about, they literally will say that there's no left wing violence, and they're like, well, tell me. And then you give them that. Where's this left wing violence you talk about? They're not even doing the both sides of it thing. Some of them, they're just saying it's a right wing violence issue. And Charlie Kirk was killed by a MAGA Republican and all that shit. And then you go and list like 6 or 8 things that happened just this year, and it's just crickets.
Dude, the thing is, like, fucking, I don't know, dude. They just lie. They just fucking lie constantly. And
they're
the people who believe it, there's no arguing with them. Because they're like, to get through to them, you have to deprogram so many different lies that are stacked upon each other that, like, there's no sorting that out. They have to do it themselves.
I actually got into it with some guy on X the other day.
And how did that go?
Under the official account, because specifically we were discussing the coming Ohio governor's race next year, and he was talking about, I hope Tim Ryan replaces Amy Acton for the Democrat primary. And I'm like, you mean the guy that literally called for the murder of MAGA back in 2022? And he's like, what are you talking about? I give him the actual physical article. I'm like, this, and also this stuff too. And it was how it, like, within like a couple weeks of that, it led directly, or a couple weeks, I think it was like a couple days actually, it led directly to some psycho in North Carolina killing a kid in a MAGA hat at some party. And he's like, I'm just going to vote for Tim twice if he's in there then. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Dude, if you want to wear a MAGA hat in public, you're putting a fucking target on your back. You're putting a target on your fucking neck is what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's like putting the blue or red bandana around your head.
Right. And walking through like a Crips area with a red bandana.
Right. Yeah.
I do that on a Saturday. It's just for fun. Keep things interesting.
The real irony is that in a lot of cases, in the prison systems, once they're in there, they're just all the black gang, basically.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, the thing that they're saying now is that Antifa doesn't exist. It's never existed. There is no organization named Antifa. There are no people who are part of an organization named Antifa, and you're crazy if that's what you think.
Yeah.
Are they trying to say it's the Mandela effect or some shit?
No, it's the same thing as the mafia. Like the mafia never existed, So they're right. Right, it never existed.
So their talking point is like, well, the Proud Boys are real, and the KKK is real, and the Patriot Front is real, and they're actually organizations. What's the difference? Antifa is not.
And who started those Democrats?
And then if you go, like CNN, for instance, CNN was like, Antifa is not a real organization, everybody. Gaslight, gaslight, gaslight. Ha, 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 ha. And then if you go to CNN.com and search for Antifa in their fucking, like, archived stories list, you will find tens of articles about Antifa, the organization, and blah, 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 blah. And here are the, the people who joined Antifa. And here's an interview with an Antifa member. But Antifa doesn't exist, and it's not real. Did you guys see the thing with President Trump or President Obama?
Yeah,
going
on that asshole Mark Maron's cast is what it was.
No, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I know what you're talking about.
I think I saw a clip.
I mean, he was doing the same shit the rest of the Democrats are doing, which is just gaslighting and lying and misremembering the truth or whatever you want to call it, and victim blaming the Republicans and saying that it's the Republicans' rhetoric that's responsible for all of this violence, and it's the disparity of how much people are making, because there's folks who are making, almost they're going to be on their way to be a trillionaire now, and there's folks who are worried about feeding their families. I hate the word folks. Who the fuck are folks? Are you a folk? Am I a folk? What the fuck is a folk?
Folk hero.
Go folk yourself.
Folks. That's
like-
how you say it, folks.
Sounds like
Like,
something.
is it more of a southern thing?
Yes, it's a southern thing.
Yeah.
I grew up
It's a
saying
German
folk.
word.
And a Midwestern thing too.
I've went my whole life without saying folks unless I was quoting fucking Bugs Bunny.
That's all, folks.
I believe it's an anglicized version of the German word Volk, like from Volkswagen.
I believe it probably was something like that, yeah.
So it's Nazi.
What's
Got
that?
it. Nazi term.
Exactly.
Wasn't that Porky Pig who say that?
It would probably
Whatever.
honestly be,
Yeah.
because I know there's a lot of people that have, when they immigrated over here, they went to like West Virginia. So
Close
it might be
enough.
like a West Virginianized
Right.
version or something, or Appalachian version or something.
Yankee is stupid. I posted a comment. Oh, what the fuck? My clicker's not clicking. Oh, there we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Yankee is stupid. I posted a comment on his chat calling him out, and he deleted it because I made a joke about how he was obsessed with werewolves and vampires and Twilight being gay. I'm fucking over Yankee, bro. I mean, it'd be one thing if you could have like an actual conversation with the guy and do a back and forth about something that you disagreed with, especially in the format where there's people listening and, you know, maybe there would be some information that someone might glean from the conversation or whatever. But if you're just going to talk over it the entire time, then no one's ever going to understand anything that anyone's saying. So it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And then he's got his sycophants that watch his show every fucking day, and they try to win a gun. Oh, got to win another gun from Yankee because that's the only reason half of them watch is to try to get a free gun for $5. You know,
$5.
He's not an honest debater. Most of his debate tactics are to like derail your train of thought. He does a lot of tactics that I've seen before.
They're tactics.
Did y'all see?
Did y'all
see where Matt went on his show a couple nights ago and they got into it like the old days, and he was telling Yankee that he didn't know how to debate, and the style he was doing was wrong. What was it?
See that.
Oh shit, what was it? Not gaslighting, but well, he did say gaslighting a couple times, but he also said fuck.
Deceiving.
Appeal to authority.
No. I'll think of it in a minute, but yeah, it was.
God damn it, Corey, think of it now.
Is it bad faith, maybe?
Yes, that exactly. He's debating in bad faith. He's a bad faith debater. Exactly. Yeah, he kept saying that over and over, and Yankee was talking over him, and it was fucking funny as hell. It was awesome. It reminded me of the old days between them two having screaming matches, and I was like, "Where's the popcorn?"
Speaking
it's
of
true.
anything,
He is a bad faith debater. That's exactly what Yankee is. He's a bad faith debater. And when it comes to debate, he's just trying to win by any means necessary, not by having the better truth, not by having the better argument, but by pounding the table louder, by exhausting his opponent through fucking constantly, like, every time you start a sentence, he's going to interrupt you in the middle of the sentence and say something so that you have to explain what you were going to say, and then you have to get back to your sentence, and then he interrupts you, and you have to try to say it. And by the time you finally get through that one fucking sentence, it's been 10 fucking minutes, and you're so exhausted from just getting through that fucking sentence that I don't even care anymore. I literally don't even care anymore. Like, go fuck yourself, you fucking faggot.
That's if he didn't mute you too.
Well, that was the last time we debated, when I just decided I'm going to talk, like, you're going to talk over me, so I'm going to just do it back to you. And he really didn't like that.
Right.
Yeah, he'll use manipulation tactics too, kind of subtly, like say something deliberately piss you off, or he'll give out
a couple
something.
of his go-tos are straight out of Rules for Radicals, man.
Yeah, he'll give out something that's like, well, I'm not 100% sure on this, but my thought is, and he like says it like what I'm pretty sure he knows is not how it is, and then you correct him. I was like, oh, thank you. Now I know how the thing is, and that it's supposed to kind of like ingratiate you to him a little bit. I saw him do that when you were on.
Alex Parlin, that's fucking funny.
Well, whatever, dude. Like, obviously, he is lost and wrong and leading people like the Pied Piper down a wrong path. And there's, again, probably 1,000, 100 to 1,000, somewhere in there, Yankee sycophants. I don't think there's 1,000 of them. There's probably about 100, though. About 100 people who listen to Yankee, who, when Yankee says something, they're like, oh, well, this is what I think now because Yankee says so. Because I don't think for myself. I don't have any cognitive abilities. I don't have the ability to actually reason through something and research a subject and come to an opinion for myself. So I just listen to the Yankee Marshall, and when he says something, I take it as gospel. And when you say something that's contrary to what the Yankee says, I attack you because I love the Yankee Marshall.
That's typical leftist for you.
Yeah, I'm still salty about the debate. Fuck that guy. I'm just salty because it wasn't a debate. And I thought that, honestly, like, part of me is still a little upset at Never Enough Ammo for not shutting him the fuck up. Like, that's why we had a moderator. That's why we did it on your channel. That's why we weren't on Yankee's channel, so that you could have the ability to mute the motherfucker and say, I said it's Honda's turn, shut the fuck up. But you didn't do that. And so that really fucking, that irked me too. And I'm not mad at Matt. I'm just upset.
Disappointed.
Yeah.
I am salty.
Disappointed.
Anyway. Oh, 2 points for anyone who knows what this is from. Kalatu Varata Niktu.
Oh, I heard it.
It sounds very familiar.
Kalatu Varata Niktu.
Never ending story.
It's something you're supposed to say before you pick up a book.
It's not Army of Darkness.
Ah, there you go.
I was trying to remember the name. All I could keep thinking was Bruce Campbell.
Did you remember the thing about the thing earlier that you couldn't remember? Because I don't even remember what it was about now.
No, I did. Yeah. Ohio helped me. Where he was a bad faith debater.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still up. Like if he posted it, because I know some of those live chats and stuff that he does every day, he doesn't repost. He reposts like clips of it to make other videos. But if it's up, y'all should watch it. At least that part, it was fucking funny.
It's my understanding he makes you pay him money to watch the lives after they're live.
That would surprise me.
So this is just from a week ago. Rioters took over a street in the south end of Boston, violently attacked responding police, setting the vehicle on fire. Only 2 people out of the mob were arrested.
Sounds about right.
I forget which state it's in now, but they're trying to get the ICE facility to take down the barricades outside of it. Like some leftist judges trying to make that bullshit rolling. It's fucking psychotic is what it is. Like you're just waiting, you're just trying to kick off a race war at this point, like a civil war.
They're acting like they're acting like that state is acting like it wants to get federalized, like it's 1865, 1866.
I feel like Trump is about
to
the Insurrection Act.
He fucking needed to like a week and a half ago at this point, honestly.
Yep.
But like Tim Pool was talking about in one of his last chats there, like if Trump tries to do that and then some leftist judge does whatever, is Trump going to back down or not? And if anything, he needs to have that judge arrested on the spot is what it needs to be at that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They did that to him the entire first term.
And when it comes to even unfair judgments from these judges, like it or not, he's adhered to them. He's adhered to the law every step of the way. And if he were to go against one of these judges at this point, even if it was a, like a judgment that seems unjust and probably is, it would be the first time that he's done that.
Well, he could also have the lawyers write up something in the declaration itself where it would be, hey, if you were actively trying to dissuade this from being reality, you are actively committing high treason in this country, and we have every legal right to arrest you on the spot.
Well, I mean, when I'm thinking about like times when the National Guard was brought in, my mind goes to Forrest Gump, right? And Forrest Gump, when he's at the college and they're at the steps and they're like, they're trying to let the coons into school. And he's like, Mama got the hose when the raccoons was on the roof, or whatever the fuck he said. Well, that was the desegregation of Southern colleges during a time where they said, like, hey, you can't fucking keep black kids from coming here, right? Like, it's against the rules to discriminate against black students, so you have to open your doors to black students who want to come here. And they said no. And I don't know, I remember it was like Mississippi or Alabama or fucking whatever Democrat-controlled southern state it was at that time.
Yeah, it was Wallace was the governor of the state at the time. And he
But
was raging
they were like,
racist.
no, we won't do that. Fuck you. And so I think it was Kennedy, if I remember correctly, had to send in the National Guard to force the state to adhere to the federal policies that they were trying to enact that the state was fighting against. And that is the proper use in that instance. And I would argue in what's happening right now with states fighting against ICE and them trying to enforce the law and and more than just not working with them, they're like actively like impeding their investigations and doing things. It's like, okay, you stepped over the line now. And I think that it is justifiable at this point to, in those instances where it's a city or a state or a whoever that's openly defying the federal government, that's why that's like part of the reason, you know what I mean? So fuck them, dude.
Yeah. I would also say, honestly, at this point, if Pam Bondi had the balls to do it, she should be going after them for seditious conspiracy and a bunch of other charges like that.
I don't like Pam Bondi. I don't know why.
She's not a good AG. She's not a good person. But the point is, she is the AG right now, and it's her fucking job to be, hey, being like, no, you guys are under arrest for this, and this is what it is. And they've done enough, like whether it be Pritzker and Newsom together, etc., to prove seditious conspiracy openly at this point, and other felony crimes at that point as well. And it's like, yeah, they should be arrested for that kind of shit already is what it is.
Unscrupulous Rapscallion says, Kalatu Barada Niktu is from the day the earth stood still. It was the command given to the robot Grot in the case of any harm befalling the alien Kalatu. Well, from
okay,
it was Kalatu Varata Niktu. Was also, what the fuck does that mean then? I wonder, dude. I bet that's like some fucking like Hollywood witchcraft spell or something. I don't fucking know.
Probably.
I bought Matt a Necronomicon.
Nice. Now buy one for Duke.
Whose flesh is it bound in?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's actually bound in flesh. It's bound in leather.
Lame.
But it's got a face on the front, you know, and like it's not filled. Like all the pages aren't filled, but like the first like quarter of the book is just pages of spells and weird fucking pictures and shit. And his wife got all fucking upset about it.
Nice.
So my sister actually works as an archivist for one of the medical places at Ohio State. And in their book collection, they actually have, I think it's like 2 different books that are bound in human skin. They're old medical journals from like the 1600s or something like that is what it is.
Yuck.
It makes you wonder who they skint to make the book.
Usually back in those days, it was like part of a human
Carbon cadavers.
sacrifice, and I believe that they actually mix the skin with something like some kind of leather to like bound it to the book is what it is, and they have to be able to temperature control it or they'll just fall apart is what it is.
I know back in the, what was it, the 40s, this one psychotic bitch over in Germany, she was dubbed the bitch or the butcher of Buchenwald, or however you say that fucking word. And she did the same thing. She killed her victims, and she would bound or like take their skin and make lampshades and all kinds of shit.
I thought that was just something that the Nazis did.
I want to say Ed Gein, the serial killer here, did something similar. And it was he would dig up like cadavers and then kill other people and stuff like that and make their bodies into lampshades and shit. And I think the woman you're referring to, Corey, is actually the same one that was in that Ed Gein series. And she was a serial killer that took her own life inside the prison system. There's what it was.
She did it. She was like in her 60s in prison or something like that, and she killed herself. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, it was like Eva something or other.
Something like that. I looked it up the other day because we started kind of watching that that new movie Monster, the Ed Gein story or whatever it is, and he found a old like comic book or whatever that was about her. It was called The Bitch of the Wall, or however you say that word. So I actually looked it up and started kind of researching it. She was actually known by several names, but that's the only one that I can remember.
I just used ChatGPT. There have been 5 human lampshades, all from the Nazi era, that they have found.
It's like IISE Coke, KOCH was their name.
There you go. Yep.
Or it might be LLSE or LISE. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like Ella Coke or something, or Elsa Coke.
I don't know. I just Googled it.
Yeah, she was a sick person. Demonically evil, honestly. As are most of these serial killers. It's like that one sick fuck that was up here in Cleveland about a decade and a half ago. He was the only black serial killer that they've caught in the state, if I'm not mistaken. And he was literally going after prostitutes and stuff like that, or escorts that were in the state. And you actually had, it was a woman who, it was one of her friends, was one of his victims. And she specifically told the cops that were like right around there, she's like, hey, my friend just went into the house like a half hour ago and I heard screaming, and the cops didn't do shit, and they could have stopped that guy that night, honestly. He ended up killing like 4 or 5 more people after that.
I guess he didn't want to investigate. Screaming people are scary.
Well, it's the same thing with that Cleveland Mirror thing that happened up there a few years after that, because it was the same deal there. You could have had that dude caught at any time, and those girls could have been saved years and years before that, and so they had to go through a decade of fucking trauma and
Dude, I was
and everything else like that.
On a way less fucking shitty note than whatever the fuck you're fucking talking about. Jesus Christ. What the fuck, dude? I was reading today that of people who sell, like realtors, like people who sell houses, in 2024, 71% of licensed registered realtors in the United States, 71% did not sell a single home. Doesn't that seem a little high?
That's not surprising, honestly, and I think it's because a lot of people were waiting for the Trump effect to come back in before they went and sold homes.
Well, you
There's
also
also a lot of
remember
people who have the real estate
a
license.
lot of people. Oh, a lot of people do that job as like a side gig. So if they're not doing it full time, especially in a downturn for buying and selling property, they're not going to be doing as much business.
Yeah, well, it costs like $5,000 or $10,000 a year to have your license. So if you're doing it part-time on the side, you better at least be selling a fucking house a fucking year. Otherwise, you're just dropping $5,000 to $10,000 in a fucking bottomless pit, and it's fucking retarded.
Didn't know it was that expensive.
Yeah, it's goddamn expensive.
It could also be the fact
I
that
didn't
a
know it was
lot of
expensive
these
either.
companies that are coming through now, like your BlackRock, Vanguards, etc., are the ones doing a lot of the real estate market these days. And I know even here in Ohio, there's a lot of scumlord realtors that don't even live in this state, but yet they're able to hold property in this state as realty companies because the state refuses to investigate them. Again, people know where their job's what it is.
See, I thought that too, because we've all heard about, oh, BlackRock is buying up all the houses, and the Vanguard is buying up all the houses because they got to get the houses. Well, it turns out that if you look at the totality of the U.S. market, that BlackRock, Vanguard, and any other investment group that you can think of combined has a 1% interest. So basically, it's actually like less than 1%. I think it's like 0.85%. So out of every like 120 houses, they own one, which is not nothing. And that does probably drive up the price, but it's not nearly like anything I thought. I thought that they were like, oh, like every third house that comes up for sale, they're buying up. Like, no, it's nothing like that. Now, I don't know how many foreign investors, like that's a good question. How many like Chinese individuals, Chinese nationals, Chinese corporations, or Saudi Arabian or whatever fucking other country you can think of owns a shit ton of property in the United States? Turns out quite a few.
Yeah.
Also, Bill Gates and owning farmland. What the fuck is that about? Like, someone needs to kick that guy in the dick, dude.
A lot of it has to do with what he's doing right now with the whole.
Well, obviously it's for power. Obviously it's for money. Obviously it's like him buying a bunch of shit up at a time when it's really expensive and the farmers can't afford it for pennies on the dollar for what it's probably going to be worth, especially in a couple of years when there's more people and less food and they can fucking start really fucking turning the screws on people and raising the prices on food and making farmers, who there are less and less of them that actually own the farms, like more and more profitable. Yeah, that's why he's doing it. Perfect sense in that sense. Also, evil as shit, wrong on multiple levels, needs to be stopped. Like, agent of Satan. I don't know how else to say it.
Well, I was going to say, it's not really about giving the food or selling the food to people. It's about vaccinating the food now with variations of the COVID shot.
I don't trust any, like the DuPont shit with Teflon and all of the forever chemicals that are in our water. Like, I was watching a thing about it today.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying like, oh, if there's more than 1 part per billion of this forever chemical in drinking water, that it's not safe. And why is it 1 part per billion? Oh, because that's the smallest amount that we could detect, right? We could do parts per trillion, but we can't detect that small. So we just made it 1 part per billion, because really it should be like 1/10 of a part per billion or something, but we can't detect it that low. So 1 part per billion is close enough. And then they look at the water and they're like, oh, there's 3,000 parts per billion in this water. Oh, well, people can drink it. Why are they getting fucking liver cancer? Why are they getting testicular cancer? Why are they getting ovarian cancer? Why are they getting thyroid cancer? Weird. Oh, we've known about this since the 60s. DuPont, specifically. We've known about this since the 1960s, but we decided that we're just going to not tell anybody about it and that we're going to keep this a secret to ourselves. And then when we get caught, right, or when people find out, rather, not even that we get caught, but when people find out that we're producing these forever chemicals that make people get cancer from making fucking Teflon, oh, we're just going to spin Teflon off into its own company so that they're not part of DuPont anymore, so that when the inevitable lawsuits come and people are injured and need money to recompensate their lives on any level, not even close to getting even Steven, that the company that they go after is like this shell of a company that doesn't have any real value, that they're just going to liquidate for pennies on, like no one's going to get paid. And DuPont's going to go on like nothing fucking happened, even though they knew in the 1960s and produced this shit for 40 fucking years, 50 fucking years. I mean, we're at a saturation level with some of these forever chemicals. They're in the clouds that rain on our heads. You can't get away from them. They said that like 98% of Americans are contaminated with these chemicals. And the guy was like, I've tested thousands of people. I have not found a single person that's not contaminated. Not one. And they don't know. I mean, they know specifically, yes, these things do cause cancer, right? And they're like looking at like lead and arsenic, right? Like parts per billion of lead that's acceptable in your drinking water is like 300. Parts per billion of arsenic that you can have in the drinking water and it's still safe is like 1,000, right? Parts per billion that you can have of these forever chemicals, and they know that it's not safe, 1. And there are in certain areas, in certain drinking water areas, especially if you live around a fucking airport, because reasons, but airports have high concentrations of this shit, and it seeps into the ground and gets into the drinking water, and they can't get it out because it doesn't break down. It does not biodegrade. There is no amount of time that's going to break these chemicals down and make them safe. They're not organic compounds that break down in sunlight or in digestion or with bacteria. There's nothing that breaks them down. So they just stay forever and cause cancer forever. And they're like, oh, I know. We'll make one that can break down. We'll make that exact same compound, but we'll put an oxygen in the middle of it so that the oxygen tends to oxidize and then like it'll break down because of that. And yeah, it does break down faster than the forever chemicals, but what it also does is cause cancer even worse than the forever chemicals. So their solution was, hey, we'll give you this other chemical as a byproduct of making the things that we make, right? We'll change our manufacturing a little bit to make it different so that you can have the chemical that breaks down. Oh, but it turns out that one gives you cancer even faster.
Super cancer.
Oh God. I don't know what to, let's just can we just like kill some people and not talk about this? It's insane, dude.
Yeah.
I volunteer as tribute. I'm playing.
I think that's what we're coming to at this point, honestly, with the way where everything's breaking down right now. It's either going to be a civil war, or it's going to be a fucking purge.
I mean, at this point, no one's having kids. They don't even have to do a purge. There's no need for a purge. You just wait a couple of years. Make sure that your kids are not poisoned, of course.
Yeah.
And that's how they plan on doing it. They like give fucking poison food and poison water and poison medicine and cigarettes and chemicals and whatever people want that they can give them, pharmaceuticals, to the world until everyone's fucking dumb dies, and they'll just sit on their fucking, their island in the middle of the Pacific. I'm thinking of Zuckerberg now, fucking growing organic fucking cows and shit, like fed off of bananas that grow in the middle of the rainforest. Like, fuck you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's a robot anyway.
Well, and then you also
he's a
got
lizard.
Going full circle back to fuck China. You got those assholes going into Panama there because some of those trees are so old and valuable that they can basically make like hundreds of thousands of dollars off a single tree or more. And that's why they really want that area. That's why they keep building the people's bridges for them and stuff like that every year when they go get washed out with all these different rainstorms and like everything else.
Well, they got a Darien Gap down there, and I'm not sure that area would be improved all that much by building bridges.
Well, no, it's like the
Well,
little
it's
like, foot
basically
bridges they have that are down there for the people that walk across, and they get washed out every year during like tsunami season or whatever it is.
It's basically a lawless wasteland, from what I understand, full of like cartels and people that grow the cocaine crop and smuggle stuff.
No Social Security for us. We pay for it now. I mean, the way things are going, unless the only way that we can get out of this, that I can see anyway, is if we become completely energy independent to the point where we are a net energy exporter by a lot, not by a little, but by like Like we use like half of what we produce and don't import anything, right? And then on top of that, we have like AI, Elon Musk fucking robots just producing fucking goods and services for the world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. That just makes so much fucking GDP for the United States that like the debt no longer matters. Like that's about the only way out. You just like everything gets so good that like a couple $1 trillion of debt doesn't matter, 30 trillion's easily paid for. At least the interest is fucking not a big deal to carry, But
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to precious
that's
metals.
not going to happen.
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to precious metals, but silver finally hit $50 an ounce last week.
It's probably a good time to buy crypto right now.
Well, the
There's
good time would have been like a couple years ago.
There's also apparently, I guess, a lot of AI companies that are popping up on the stock market now, and the AI is buying each other's stocks, and they're inflating a bubble right now for no reason. That's definitely going to crash in the next probably 2 months or so.
What I was going to say is there was that whole China tariff thing, and the price of Bitcoin was at a historic high and then dropped, I forget, it was like 25% or something like that. It dropped a huge amount.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the cryptos, because they're all tied to Bitcoin, dropped a huge amount. And I assume that at some point the deal with China is going to be figured out. And so those prices will return to some sort of normal price. So if everything dropped 25% and you expect it to go back to normal, it's a good time to buy. Anyway, I'm tired. I need to fucking end the show. We're done. Gayness. Anus.
Penis.
Janice.
Penis, vagina.
Later.
Yeah. All right. Laters, y'all. Deuces, y'all. Shall not be in fridge. Trooper to shop and not to pressure. Bat a cat care. Break the troops. 2 words. Made in America. And we'll see y'all next time. Later.